Hello and welcome to another episode of the Safer Ranch plus Wolves. Don't give your hopes up, we're not getting this thing up and running right now, but we had to pull it out for my new gun safe. So, we are taking a quick before and after photograph of the mess that it's in right now.
Because it's been sitting in the garage for 4 years.
And then me washing it. So, in case you were wondering, this is a 1966 Ford Mustang with a 289 V8. And my grandfather...
My dad.
Yeah. Bought it. Wasn't it new?
It was brand new off the showroom floor.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old and I remember picking it up.
Yep.
Right there,
Right there
brand new.
in 1966.
We
right
drove
off the showroom floor.
all the way to Michigan with it in 1971.
Oh yeah.
We drove all over the place. And
So there's a very rich family history in this thing, and we've tried. Well, we've all tried really hard for a very long time to get this thing up and running again. It's been sitting for probably a good 20 years.
Probably. But then when you were in high school, you took it to auto shop and worked on it a lot.
We worked on it a lot. Got the engine pulled apart, not all the way, but most of the way.
It looks better when it's not dusty.
Got a lot of things accomplished with it. Really good distributor and ignition system. It was running pretty well there for a while, but when we had our elevation change from pretty much sea level in California to over 2,000 feet, the carburetor really did not like that, and
then it sat.
yeah, it was just so long, and yeah, we had so many things on our mind other than this that it just kind of went by the wayside again, and it doesn't run now.
So hopefully with just a little work, we can get it back to running strong.
Oh yeah.
But of course we have issues like brakes and
Brakes,
transmission.
it really does need a fan shroud too, because this thing just
overheats. Yeah.
So yeah, really cool. We're about to set it on down, and easiest hood to close in the world. No slamming.
Mm-hmm.
Just so nice.
Well,
so
Fords
easy.
are made well.
Yeah, dang right.
So anyway, I wanted to mention also the interior. The interior needs...
Oh yeah, that could use some work. You didn't make the best choices when you were my age.
Your age, my butt. I was like 17. Got that for $4 at a garage sale, that steering wheel.
Right. He bought this after he lost his power steering and then tore that out instead of replacing it.
Power steering was leaking. Rip it out.
So there's some problems to be had.
Don't
but
need no stinking power steering.
So yeah, I could use some work.
Yeah, that is original carpet and original seats. Well, I put seat covers on them.
And I used to have a center console, but we're not even going to replace the center console. We're going to put in the dome that it had here. That looked really awesome, so we'll replace this part with the dome.
So from 4 years old on to my teen years, I spent a lot of time sitting with my parents in the back seat. Well, my parents are in the front seat. I was in the back seat.
You reupholster this puppy.
Lean this forward a bit. When I was a little tiny kid, I used to sit on that little hump right there. Because there were no seatbelt laws back then, and we somehow survived.
Now, if I could find the original footage on my other YouTube channel that I never intended to be popular or anything, I put a...
Or when it was running.
Yeah, when it was running.
Yeah.
I have a little flip cam video, just a little quick video of me back when I was 17 years old.
So,
working on this
if
thing.
at the end of this you see the Mustang running, it was from, what, 6 years ago?
Yeah, about that time.
All right.
Yeah. We'll cut it and I'll splice the clean video on the end.
Well, I'll just go around to the back here.
You got some homemade dual exhaust in there?
No, it wasn't homemade. But I went to a muffler shop and...
Oh, you did? Oh, well, I always remember that story of you trying to put those headers on.
No, that was me and my dad. We didn't have the right bolts. And
broke off open-end wrenches.
They were too long, so we put like 5, 6, 10 washers, whatever we could find to put the headers on.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yep. And they're still on there.
And a lot of problem that the 64, 65, and 66 Mustangs would have is that the rear end would start sagging a lot.
It's low.
And so you tried to mitigate it by putting those big 3-inch spacers on there, which you can even see.
Yeah.
Right there. And it still is sagging terribly.
Well, the leaf springs are like totally worn out.
They're inverted, the leaf springs are pretty much. So, ow! what we can do, and which is actually optimal, is we could take that to a place and have those leaf springs rebent, and supposedly having them reset back to the original specs is better than buying new ones, because something about the leaf springs, you know, already, you know, worn into each other, you know, that pack, that leaf spring pack, so there's no
Did you say so?
no room. Yeah, I don't know what the specific, I just know that I've heard from reputable people that that's what.
One thing's for sure, when that puppy starts up, it sounds cool.
It does.
I've
It
got
sounds amazing.
headers and dual exhaust, and it's a small V8, but it is a V8, so
yeah.
it sounds good. It's got a nice low rumble to it.
And I never was alive in the time where it was in its glory days, but I've heard it burns out really, really well. So it is my lot in life, ever since I was a tiny kid, to get this thing back on the road. And I've tried and tried, but time, money, and
We'll get there.
and priorities always get in the way. So we'll
right.
work on it eventually. Hey,
Okay.
maybe I'll set up a donation.
Hey, a GoFundMe account.
Yeah,
Fix our family heirloom Mustang.
there you go. So
All right.
we'll come back when it's clean.
Yep.
And we're back. So I finally got it done here. Got a little marred up because Shadow was walking all over it again.
Aw.
Got all muddy. But it's as clean as it'll be for now. I even cleaned up that a little bit.
Oh, good.
Just gave it the old WD-40 treatment since we're putting it under a tarp and it was still a little wet from the washing. And if I don't get it covered quickly, it's gonna get peed on again. So
Yeah, it has to, it'll have to be repainted.
oh, it's certainly.
There's
but
nothing that you can do to save that paint.
No. Besides, wasn't it a home job anyway?
No. We had somebody do it. It was somebody from church.
Oh, all right. Yeah, up in here, the pee had gotten up in there, so I opened this up and had to clean all that out. I mean, it wasn't even liquid anymore. It was just like a spongy brick of urine.
That's charming.
Yeah. So you can see why we're trying to cover it up. I'm trying to save it so that there's something left for me to restore someday.
Because we have a few cats.
Only about 22 at the moment.
Not all ours. But
Anyway,
they think they're ours.
Yep. So we left out an important part of it. Obviously, since we have it here and not with my grandparents. My grandparents gave it to my father when he was 16 years old. So it stayed in the family, and
It was my first car, and I had a lot of fun with it.
hopefully it'll be my car someday.
Then I went and got married and had a kid.
We can do that for.
So all the, we had to have a good family car and everything, and moved out there. I couldn't commute.
At that point,
In it.
it was kind of falling apart. So,
Eh.
and he decided instead of restoring it, he'd just get a new car, fancy one
Well,
with all the modern stuff.
Several new cars since in 1992.
This new thing called air conditioning
Yeah.
in a car.
That was
Huh?
very important in Southern California.
So that about wraps it up. Probably will be a while till you see that again because the next few $1,000s is going into that. So it's, still runs, but when you start it, you have to wait 8 hours before you can start it again once you stop. So
So you drive it, and then it doesn't want to restart when it's
Yeah.
warm, when it's hot.
and I think it's a combination of carburetor and ignition system, electrical system. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet and fully restore the fuel system and the ignition system while I'm at it.
So the trees are nicely blooming. Spring is definitely here.
Boom, happened in a couple of days.
So that'll probably... Hey!
See, that's what happens to it.
Random black cat. Shadow, I think.
Yep.
Anyway,
All right,
That
well,
should do
that
it.
about wraps it up. So if you like this, please like and subscribe for more. Let us know in the comments if you enjoy the vehicular part of the Shaver Ranch. And we will see you in the next video.
bye-bye.
All right, take two. There. A lot better than it sounded before. Choke is on. There we go.